Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm Mark.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to talk about the fact that, according to ESPN's Neil Payne, Angel Reese is still the #1 rookie in the WNBA. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so and hit the notification bell when you do. We're going for 4,000 subscribers and we need your help. So, Rob, I don't know if anybody takes it seriously or anybody agrees with Neil Payne's rankings or ratings, if you want to call it, except for maybe big Angel Reese fans. But all year long, he's been underrating Caitlin Clark. Like he was sixth, behind Kate Martin, who was getting a few minutes a game, in the beginning of the year. And now she's been up to second the last two times he did it. And he said the gap has been getting smaller. But it's based upon all these advanced metrics. I think he made these things up. And one of them's like a raptor rating. I think when a dinosaur.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like, what are you talking
about? What I don't understand is, Rob, the Chicago's losing and the Fever's winning. Shouldn't that have a huge influence on his raptor ratings? Because it's based upon winning and how you help your team win. So I can't imagine how Caitlin Clark didn't overcome it unless his formula is severely flawed, which obviously it is.
Well, he's following, Monica McNutt says that, because whoever has the most wins definitely should get the Rookie of the Year. So, and I haven't heard from her at all. What's happening to her? I haven't heard from her.
And Andrea Carter's been awful quiet too, Rob.
Yeah.
So they've all been quiet. There's been no exercise. They've stopped talking about it when it's clear that they look like idiots. What they do. This is different than the rankings of the top 25 players in the WNBA, because that was done by 3 other writers than Neil Payne. Neil Payne is this stat nerd who thinks he's smarter than he is and just has this one way of rating a player as opposed to everything. I don't mind advanced stats. Some of them can be very effective. There's a player efficiency rating, which shows that Jokic has the highest efficiency rating of all time, and Michael Jordan's second, like LeBron's third. Okay, that seems like there's something to that stat. Because Jokic is playing out of his mind. 3 of the last 4 MVPs. Some people think he should have got 4 straight. Jordan and LeBron are considered 1, 2 the greatest players of all time. Okay, so there's something to that stat. But that doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. You got to look at everything. You got to look at regular stats, advanced stats. If you make up a stat, it's got to be accurate. It can't favor players who get rebounding, which those stats do. You got to have an eye test, Rob. You got to see the team winning. You got to know basketball, in other words.
Well, what's that saying, Mark? Stats are for losers. That's what it seems like this guy is. I mean, the main thing for stats, they're okay, but for me, like you said, you just mentioned the main thing for me is the eye stat. If I watch this player play and I see how they play, I can tell that this player is going to be really good or is playing well. But if I see someone just, good rebounding, that's great rebounding. But you brick every shot, and then what else? What else are you doing? I don't see. How many assists did you have this game? 1. Oh wow, that's great. Oh, you got a double. Well, I could do you could do a double in your sleep in the WNBA, so that's no big deal.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about MVP, we're talking about Rookie of the Year, but still, if you're talking about a player's ability, also even more important than MVP is how much does that person make the player around them better. And there's no one in the WNBA that makes the players around them better than Caitlin Clark. It's probably not even close. And so that stat doesn't show up in these Neil Payne stats. How do you evaluate or put into a formula a wide open shot by Kelsey Mitchell or Lexi Hall? The percentage is going to go up every time they shoot a wide open shot as opposed to a shot where they're covered. Does he put that into the formula? I doubt it. How much that she gets double teams, and that opens up everything for everybody. Opens things up in the post for passing. Her length of a court passes that free 2 points if they catch it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Are those in his formulas? I doubt it.
No, like I said, I don't know what eye test or what formula he's using, but anybody can do that with stats. You can make it to have it where Reese is the best using any kind of stat. If you want to do that, I'm sure he put in. What about the turnovers type thing, but if you do that, you just say, so here's a stat. Reese has less turnovers than Clark.
And
Okay.
ESPN is becoming more of a joke sports channel. I mean, it was really, people really liked it for a while. Back 20, 30, 40 years ago, it started out, it had a lot of good analysts and a lot of good reporting, a lot of good shows. And since then, it's gone all downhill. It's overly woke. I have no problem with woke. It's overly woke. They have an agenda. There's tribalism, especially with their black females, having to do with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And they don't seem to be objective. And that's my problem with their channel right now. Put the wokeness aside. It's the lack of objectivity which really bothers me, and why people think it's a joke channel right now. And the ratings show that. The ratings are constantly going lower and lower. They're losing contracts with the cable companies and all things of that nature.
Yeah, because their focus, they seem to change their focus from when they first started out. Because when they first started out, they were trying to attract people, so they knew that they had to really focus on making sure what they're saying is correct and being objective. Now I think they're just like, well, we ESPN watch.
Some other guy came out and said people didn't say like Dennis Rodman was, MVP candidate or anything like that. He was basically a rebounder. That's what Angel Reese is. She's not an MVP candidate, or she's not as good as Caitlin Clark. She's a rebounder. The rest of her game isn't very good, despite what some people think. Her defense isn't that good. It's average. And so, I would put her second. She's not very far ahead of Camila Cardoza or Rickea Jackson, who, by the way, Rickea Jackson was only sixth in this poll. Cardoza, they had third, which that one's right. If you switch Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark around, you got 1, 2, 3 correct. But they had Rickea Jackson. Those are only 4 good rookies. So how Rickea Jackson is sixth is beyond me. Anything less than fourth is insane. She's really playing well lately.
Yes, she has. Yeah, so I mean, this high horse. I'm almost like, get off of your high horse, ESPN, and yeah, you're ESPN, but who cares? You're not. No, that's what's happening, Mark. A lot of people are tuning them off and going to other sports places because they're not that objective. They're like, I don't want to watch this. I'm going to go over to Fox Sports and watch them.
If Fox Sports is doing well in the ratings now, Rob, because of that, they seem to be more objective. But I wonder, Rob, is their agenda seems to be the same as the WNBA. And you know me pretty well. I'm not a conspiracy person at all. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if Caitlin Clark is bringing out the worst of me in terms of conspiracy theories, because there seems to be an agenda against Caitlin Clark since day one. And it's not just ESPN. It seems to be the WNBA. And then they start giving podcasts to Sheryl Swoops, who they know hate Caitlin Clark. They have a voter who supposedly gets a vote in the Rookie of the Year, who does 50 minutes discussion on Rookie of the Year. It doesn't even mention Caitlin Clark. They barely marketed Caitlin Clark. They seem to not want to give her credit for the increased revenue, the increased attendance, the increased television ratings, the record ratings by her. It's always her and Angel Reese, or her and other rookies, or her and other people in the league when it's all her. They
were surprised. I can't believe this phenomenon of Caitlin Clark. I'm so surprised that we didn't. What was it? What did they say? We didn't see this coming.
Didn't see this coming, which we've gone over before. We don't have to cover it again. But I just wonder if there's some connection. Again, this is against everything about my thinking in life, between the WNBA and ESPN. Is there a connection there having to do with holding Caitlin Clark down and promoting Angel Reese? Because heaven forbid, if we have a white person who's the top rookie this year and also looks like she's going to take over the league in general.
Right.
And they're going to say, maybe this is the wrong thing they should be arguing. Maybe they should be arguing more for, MVP, and be arguing more for Asia Wilson, and be promoting her and talking about her, as opposed to trying to compare Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark. It seems like a fairer comparison to me.
Yeah. There's no comparison. There's no comparison at all. And yeah, maybe, like you said, the two are coming together, tied, WNBA, ESPN.
Right.
Why are they doing this? Why are they saying this? And why are most of the people who are commenting on the WNBA, ESPN are against Clark or not watching the games, I guess.
Right. And the 3 writers that did it for the top 25 and stuff like that, rankings, and they also had a recent thing where they talked about the Rookie of the Year and MVP. And my question is first of all, it's clear Clayton Clark should be Rookie of the Year. They're still promoting that it's close. And also, since like week 2 of the season, Asia Wilson was given the MVP candidate. And that's just not fair to Caitlin Clark. I'm not talking about Caitlin Clark. I'm talking about someone like Breanna Stewart, who won the MVP award last year and is also a great player. Now, she's not having her best year this year, and I don't think she should be MVP, but she's certainly a candidate. And Sabrina Ionescu's having a very good year. Nafisa Collier's having a very good year. And Alyssa Thomas was second in the MVP voting last year. But they seem to want to give it to Asia Wilson since week 2. Would they have done that if that was a white player? I don't know, Rob.
Well, I mean, right now, yeah, she's scoring points, but their team has been losing. So I thought that MVP player brings up the team, another players. They have a great team. They have 3 Olympians on the team.
Yeah, Rob. I don't always agree with how they do the MVP voting because they always give it to the person with the best or second best record in the league. But they've lost 5 of the last 7, and still MVP still has to be, your team has to be winning at least. And they're not winning right now. And she has talent around her. So, I said, can we hold off just giving it to her, the MVP? Because the reason I'm suspicious about it, Rob, is because as soon as Caitlin Clark came into the league, they started talking about how Asia Wilson was the best player in the league. And they kept saying that. They like disrespecting Breanna Stewart, who just won the MVP, and that was her second MVP in the last 6 years. Mm-hmm. So I just wondered, like, they're promoting it. If she was white, would they be saying it so strongly and giving her the award right away? Now, I think she should win it this year, as of right now, because she's having a great year. But still, I just wondered. That's all. I'm just asking questions, Rob.
But yeah, I mean, don't give. I mean, she'll probably win, but then it won't be that. Unfortunately, it won't be that close probably with the voting.
So my question is, why was the MVP award a lock after 2 weeks, but the Rookie of the Year is going to go on to like game 40? That's my question. That's why I have a problem with ESPN, and I have a problem with the media in general having to do with all this discussion. And I get it. A white player is getting too much publicity, so they want to bring her down a little bit, but they're just going overboard on this.
Yeah, it's too much.
Just try to be objective about it. She's the real deal, and she was always the real deal. It's only you couldn't see it because you thought she was overrated because she was white, when in fact she was actually underrated because you thought she was overrated because she was white. She ended up getting underrated.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Isn't that like a catch-22 there? Yeah, underrated, overrated. Wait a minute, make up your mind. What is she?
Well, I'm telling you, she's not overrated. She's the real deal, and they're just going to have to accept that. And we'll see what happens in the future, but there's no way, in my mind, she's not going to be an MVP in the near future. I don't think she deserves it this year. Don't get me wrong. No. Maybe if they didn't give her 11 games in 20 days to start out with 8 of the games against the best 3 teams in the league, it would have got off to a better start. And if she didn't get double teamed and triple teamed and covered for 94 feet, the first 10 games, it would have been better.
But she's no good. Why would they do that if she's not any good?
I have no idea, Rob.
She's an underrated player. If she's an underrated player, why do they do that? We talked about that. She's underrated, but your whole game plan is to stop her.
I don't know. I just think the WNBA does not seem to be behind Caitlin Clark. And that's why they give Cheryl Swoops a podcast and pay her. Give me another reason to give it to Cheryl Swoops. She doesn't just get it automatically. Don't you have to show some objectivity?
No.
To get a podcast? I mean, don't you have to show some intelligence?
No.
You don't just give it to somebody because she has a name.
And when someone in your own company says that you're insane, what you're saying, that kind of brings it to light also. And
can't ESPN see that Neil Payne's ratings are way off? Like, couldn't you see that in the beginning of the year when she was ranked 6th? Well, you continue to post his rankings of the rookies, even though you can see they're just crazy. In fact, you got to pay $10.99 to see it. Who's going to pay $10.99 to see insane ratings?
Wow. What a country.
So I don't know. ESPN's making themselves a joke, and so is the WNBA making themselves a joke. And somehow I think it's tied together, Rob, but I can't prove it.
I think don't get into that conspiracy, Mark. Stay away.
Well, Rob, you're not telling me I'm wrong.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, so then
I'm not.
I'm not being unrealistic here. Like again,
No,
I'm
you're not.
against. There's no evidence of it, but I'm
But
awful
boy,
suspicious.
oh boy.
Let us know what you think. You think there's some kind of connection between ESPN and WNBA in terms of holding Caitlin Clark down? I don't know. Let me know. I'm curious to hear that. We're gonna go live, by the way, tonight. And guess who's playing? Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Game 4 between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever, and at 7:30 on ION. Join us for that. And our normal live show is on Mondays, but we won't do it on Labor Day because that's a major holiday. The next one is September 9th, 6 to 8 Eastern Time. You can call in for that show. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. We need 4,000 subscribers. We're getting close. We need your help. You want to donate to this channel, you can with super chats and super thanks down below. And there's a link to PayPal. And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out.